today's episode, I have my friend Ashlee Arceneaux Jones, Smallchalk. You've seen her work. You're everywhere in town.
I'm around.
You're big. You're a big deal. You're the sign
Big in
maker.
New Orleans.
Well, that's fine. That's all that really matters, right?
That's true. That is all that matters. At least to me.
So you do chalkboard signs, obviously Smallchalk, but you do other types of signs and things like that.
Yeah, I do chalk signs and I do illustration and design for publications and just in general, whatever artistic creative needs that a client may have, I probably can find a way to make them happen.
Make it happen.
But chalk is like the biggest.
Your thing.
Yeah.
It's very funny though because we've known each other for a very long time now. We won't have to like say how long because
We won't reveal our ages.
Yes, but we've been knowing
21.
each other. You do look 21.
I know.
Yeah. You probably still get carded, I would imagine.
I do.
Huh?
I do.
That's great.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So we worked together at Fox 8. We did news together, and we worked on the morning show back in the day.
Yeah.
And
well, it was more like the middle of the night show.
Well, the show came on in the morning,
yeah,
but we worked
overnight.
together.
Yeah.
And it's very funny though for us, and we laugh about this all the time because at the news desk I was always like brewing coffees and teas and stuff, and like Ashley, I can always remember you like doodling.
Yeah.
And like it was so funny, like you'd come in, 'cause I got there a little bit before you. And you'd come in and I'd have like scripts or paper for you to work on or whatever. I don't know what the hell.
It's covered.
And it was just like covered in
By
doodles.
the end of the day, it's covered in doodles.
And so, and you were like fast at it. You were like, I mean, it was like you had all these cool like swirls and things, and like, and of course, like I'm like, pay attention, you know. I need your help here,
well, you know, a lot of those nights could be kind of depressing in the news. You know, it's like you like listen to the speaker, and it's like there's a robbery, there's a murder, somebody, there's a house on fire, and I'm just like drawing kittens, like trying not to cry, like rainbows.
Yeah.
You know, like just trying to like turn all the sadness
It's a very thick-skinned business. You have to like pretend like it's a story and not the real life, but it actually is real life.
I know.
You're the second person I've had on Coffee with Kevin from my news days. I had Chris Franklin on.
Chris Franklin!
Yes, he was.
I love Chris Franklin.
Yes, Chris Franklin's awesome.
He's the premier weatherman of the city.
I keep saying he's also Coffee with Kevin's official meteorologist.
He is. I know. And man, I need an official meteorologist at my studio.
I'm sure Chris Franklin will probably do that for me.
I need him to just, send a little like quick link to me every day. How's it going? I love Chris Franklin.
Yeah, he's great. He's
speaking of doodles, I made a couple of doodles for him. We have a lot of inside jokes because of my doodles.
Oh, okay.
Chris Franklin, tagline, weather better than a cheeseburger.
Weather better than a cheeseburger?
Weather better than a cheeseburger.
What exactly does that mean?
It just meant that his weather was so good. Like the way he just could
presented
tell
it?
Everyone the weather.
Why a cheeseburger, not pizza?
The cheeseburger is delicious.
Okay.
More delicious than pizza. I don't care.
Oh, now we just lost viewers.
I know.
You're like,
sorry. Sorry.
You can't say things that are controversial.
I know. This is like really taking us over the top here.
But it's just so funny because like, you would do that and I'm doing this and now I'm doing this and now you're doing that.
I know.
And we joke about that. I mean, it's a
good feeling.
It is. It is.
From those days at the news desk at 3 a.m.
Well, I don't think either one of us really liked that job.
No.
And now I love what I do, you love what you do.
I was terrible at that job. I messed up the teleprompter like every day. When I had to do the graphics, I always pressed the wrong button at the wrong time. The director was always like, Ashlee!
We had some terrible people work with us too, so I don't remember you being that bad. I think you were one of the better ones, actually.
I like to be good at what I do.
And you're excellent at what you do.
And so I've found a profession where I can be good at it.
Your signs are excellent. So you see her work around town all the time, Smallchalk. And you generally sign things at the bottom, so you can see that.
I try to sign all of my work, unless it's obnoxious.
But for me, when I see your work, I know it's your work. I don't even have to look at the signature.
That's like the biggest compliment I get.
You totally. I mean, I mean it. Like I'm like, oh, that must have been Ashlee. Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Because like you've got this great New Orleans-y typical, and I hate to say that because I feel like that's an insult. but it's like a typically New Orleans-y style, but in a more fun and slightly more polished way.
Well, so
how would you say that?
Okay, so I draw a lot of my inspiration from what you're talking about. You see in the city, you know, it's a city that celebrates bright, fun, colorful, you know, so many artists in the city, and I think a lot of the signage, you know, it's like everywhere you go has a like "Be Nice or Leave," Dr. Bob, Simone kind of thing.
And it's funny. I had a musician on, Sean Williams, recently, and she said like, you know, like she just takes like the rhythm of the city and puts that in her songs.
Right.
But you kind of take that same rhythm of the city and you put it in that movement in your songs.
It's I mean, I want to capture
and
that.
that sounds real cheesy. Everybody's
no,
like,
I mean, it's inspiration. So I want to capture that, but I'm also very much a student of typography. I like to do things the way they're supposed to be. You know, I know the way that a letter is supposed to be formed. I know layout, like I studied these things, you know. I've taken classes and lessons to learn how to properly draw letters from like, you know, the way they originated from like a tool like being carved into like a rock, you know what I mean? So like I've got that foundation, but I also pick up from like, you know, these New Orleans artists that are just kind of fun and funky. Like one of my favorite sign painters is Emily. She works over at House of Blues, and she does that big calendar that you see outside, and it's super colorful. All of her lettering is just swirling all over each other, and it's like not the way it's supposed to be, you know, the way she does her letters. But it's just so beautiful, and like it just grabs everybody's attention. Everybody's always like standing in front of her calendar, you know, and she was one of my biggest inspirations when I started this, and she's actually a friend now. But
awesome.
But so I try to draw from these things and the people that inspire me, and the sign painters, you know. Years ago, every grocery store had a sign painter that was literally like bananas, 99 cents.
And you see like the old pictures, and we have even old pictures from the market here in the back, and they got all those signs that are all painted.
I mean, all those things, I draw from all those things, but then I try to kind of like clean it up. You know, it's the best way I can describe it. I try to clean it up, make it super legible, but still really fun. So, I don't know, I put a lot of thought into my style, and so when people recognize it, I'm flattered. I'm like, I'm working really hard to try to like.
It's super
marry
recognizable.
these things,
and now that
you know?
people have seen that, they're going to look at signs. They're going to see your name, and they're going to recognize it too. It's that recognizable. I think.
Thanks.
You know.
That means a lot.
Okay, so I'm having a little bit of a problem, you know, here at St. Roch Market at Coast Roads, because Mark, who used to work here, if you remember Mark, I kind of like hooked y'all two up, and so Mark does not work for me anymore. He was a phenomenal barista.
What you're saying is you're mad at me because I coached Mark directly from Coast Roast.
I think
brought him into Smallchalk.
I do miss Mark. I miss Mark around. I know employees like miss Mark. I mean, the customers miss Mark.
I know.
You have employees too, like Harry. I'm sure misses Mark. You know, I'm sure Harry's not.
He's just so likable.
He's super likable, and he's a great guy. And now he works for you.
I know.
So here's where the real problem is. Okay, I don't have anyone to do my signs. See, because Mark did my sign. You see how like crappy that sign is. Can you work on that sign for me before you leave?
All right.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
You've been so kind as to gift me my favorite and only employee.
Yes, it's your.
I guess I can make you a sign.
So how do you? So now that you're growing and you're expanding and you have an employee, Mark, my former employee, Mark.
Just the way the cookie crumbles.
How do you you have to kind of teach him your style?
Yeah.
But then do you have customers, like maybe new customers that want a different style that he can bring? Because it's an art and a business. How do you marry those two things?
It's been hard. It's been really, really tough. So I'm going on my 7th year of making signs in the city. And I just have found Mark, and he's been the best match as far as employees. I've had a couple people work for me now, but Mark is just like a great fit. Because you really have to like come in and understand that you're working for an established brand. Even though I'm just a person, I've established a brand over this time. And so he came in, and I met him here doing your sign, and I was like, ooh, like, hey, you're really good at this, you know. Do you do this work anywhere else? And over time, you gave him my phone number, and we sat down and had
Because Mark
coffee.
really needed to. I mean, and as phenomenal as a barista as he is, not was. He's not dead.
Right.
He's just dead to me.
He's just moved on to a better place.
He's moved on to a better place. His talent really is better with you. He's a, you know what I mean?
Well, it's good to use, yeah.
You know what I mean? And I'm happy to let people move on to where they need to go.
Awesome.
Yes.
So I found him here, and when we met for coffee and just kind of talked about some things, and I explained to him, as I would explain to anyone who is going to work for me, like, you're basically learning from me how to do things the way I would do them with a lot of guidance. So Mark's been with me for a couple months now, but he's still in the learning phase, and that's another thing. You have to be patient and just like, he's learning a trade, you know?
Yeah.
But he's been phenomenal, and I
because he has to fit into your mold.
So with him, but
it's art as well. It's
right.
Yeah.
So when we take on a project, I'm art directing it fully. I'm drawing out the entire thing, and he's essentially just tracing at this point, you know, or he's printing it. Like, he can see a thing and then he translates it. There's a little, as we, grow together, there's a little bit of wiggle room. I'm like, the word coffee in script, what's your take on it? And I can, we can discuss maybe like, oh, I like the way you did that C, but for the most part, it's
crazy
stuff.
that much thought goes into it.
A lot of thought goes
People
into
don't, when you read a sign, okay, I'm going to get that. But like you're saying, like, how does the C form in coffee?
Yeah.
That's amazing. People have no idea, I promise.
Yeah, we get real nerdy. We get super nerdy.
But then when you see it, you're like, wow, that's a great sign.
It's gotta look good, it's gotta be legible. I mean, it's hard to really put a value, it's hard to explain the value sometimes because of things like that. Like, I put in bids for jobs all the time, and
because me as a business owner on the other side, and this is a fun conversation we can have too, is that me as a business owner on the other side, I'm looking for a return on investment.
Exactly.
My Bumblebee drink is selling fairly decently with that crappy
But
sign.
just wait until you have a good looking sign.
You know what? This will be a fun experiment too. I'll let you know.
I need to hire like a person to do like analytics for me.
You know what? This is great analytics because we'll see because that drink is selling really, really well.
Yeah.
So if you do a really cool sign, we'll be able to compare when I started it and put that sign up and your sign. Let's do that.
Yeah.
All right.
We should. And I mean, like, I've seen it.
And I'll be a sold believer too, especially if like you could jump it up 20% just because the sign's nice.
Ooh, a lot of pressure, but I'm not scared.
Yeah, I think it's selling well. It's a cool idea. People like it.
Yeah,
so it's actually like orange juice and iced coffee with vanilla. It's crazy. It tastes like I'll
try
get
that
you
next
one.
time. Yeah.
What I'll do is you can drink one while you're.
I don't know. This is like a lot of coffee already. I'm gonna have to like just.
So when people come in and see the Bumblebee sign, it's gonna be.
I mean, maybe it's a cool effect. I don't know. Maybe I should just drink a lot of coffee all day. I already do drink a lot of coffee all day.
You do.
But no, I mean, my favorite story about that is like a couple years ago, I did a chalkboard sign for sandwiches in a coffee shop. And they were like, our sandwich board looks really crappy. And it was like faded, like just kind of not good. Like it was just like an employee just kind of listed it, nothing. And I came in and I did it. It was super colorful and like bright. It was the same sign. It's not like I made it larger. Same information. And then they started selling so many sandwiches, they had to start hiring a person to make the sandwiches. Like instead of just the one person, now they have two because the sandwiches. I was like, whoa, like I need to.
That's a return. I mean, because businesses need a return on investment.
So it makes it. I mean, your signage just makes a huge difference, and of course, I'm trying to like sell that to people, but I also like it's just a fact.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like I don't even care if you have me do it or somebody else. Just like fix that. You
Yeah.
I tried to do this.
This is an important part of the business.
Yeah.
Because signs sell stuff.
It does.
They're like salespeople for
Well, and it like creates this identity, and it's like, oh, these people have good taste. I'm gonna go in there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And not that I mean, so many of the best restaurants. Maybe they don't have any like hand-drawn signage or whatever, and they're still good, but at least they have like really good design stuff. Like you just have to pay attention. You can't, I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's
important.
It's very important. Ashlee, thank you so much for coming by. And I always like it when you stop by because we can shoot the breeze and tell old stories and stuff. And
I want to tell people about the studio real quick though.
Oh, did we not? We didn't talk about the studio.
We didn't talk about it.
Yes, last night we went. Well,
I
this is
had
whenever
a studio warming party.
You've got a great new place. I'm sorry, I forgot to bring that up.
It's okay.
Yeah,
I didn't want to leave without saying, come stop by.
Yeah, so your new studio space, it's on Magazine Street. It's like behind, what is that?
Pilot and Powell.
Pilot
so
and
it's
Powell.
on General Taylor and Magazine.
It's on General Taylor and Magazine. It's kind of like, it's set back a little bit.
It's set back,
I
it's
didn't
in a
know
courtyard.
that. I didn't know that when I was going there last night, so I was just passing back and forth. I was looking for your sign.
I know. How sad is it? I'm just so busy making other people's signs. But I have signage on the door.
This courtyard is super cool. Your space is super cool. Are you going to do like signs like people can just pop in and bit like a water bowls? Like in other words, like people like me, if I'm popping in, I'll probably buy like a little sign that says bathrooms from our house or something.
Yeah.
You know?
So
you have that kind of stuff or no?
Eventually. It's kind of slowly coming together. So I moved in and I did a lot of work to the space, and now it's just
the
our
space looks great. It's clean. It's slick. It's like being inside of one of your signs. This is super, super cool.
Thank you. I put a lot of thought into it. So right now it's just our workshop, by appointment only. But I'm already scheduling events and workshops like calligraphy workshops, floral workshops, like just general creative.
Is this so it's an event you can go in and book and you can teach. It's like a wine and what is that?
I'll be
painting
doing,
by the number. What is that called?
Just like drink and draw kind of stuff. You know, just like fun events are coming up in the fall and the winter for the holidays. So I have those things coming up.
Okay, so I'm going to put the links down here, your smallchalk.com or whatever it is. Put your website down there, your social media channels, your Instagram is your Smallchalk on Instagram.
Instagram is probably the one I use the most of.
Okay,
I
Instagram,
just started
Smallchalk.
getting my Facebook situated.
Yeah.
I'm bad at Facebook, but I'm trying. I'm good at Instagram,
bad at Instagram. So follow Ashlee on Instagram. You got all your cool events and stuff coming up. I can't draw at all, so.
Well, you can come take a workshop. Maybe you can learn.
Maybe so.
And then, we'll do some merchandise in there eventually. But it's kind of like baby steps while we're growing, you know?
Yeah, because, I mean, if people are in there, they're going to, I'm serious. I would buy, a powder room sign for, the bathroom in my house or something, if I'm in there for a couple bucks or whatever.
It's all coming. We've been working hard all summer just setting up, but then fall, winter, holiday season, we're going to, really kick it up. So definitely follow along to see what we have going on.
And it was a killer party too. I enjoyed
it.
Thank you. I was thankfully invited to her big secret open house party, and it was super cool.
Hey. Sorry about that. It's okay. We blew through all those bottles of champagne. I got there this morning to just kind of tidy up, and I was like, "Whoa, it was a party."
Yeah, it was fun.
It was awesome. It was fun.
It was fun. And then we went and ate at Juan's Flying Burrito.
Oh, really?
We did.
We should have done that too. Yeah. We just drank champagne and fell asleep on the floor.
Ashlee, thanks so much for coming. Please fix my sign before you leave.
I'll fix your sign.
I would appreciate that because it's getting
yeah, I know.
It's time.
It needs help.
It needs help.
It needs a boost.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks,
Take care.